Okay. We're going to sound really good here. Hello, this is Ron Barash again. We're actually here at the number 21 Super Late Model, and your name is?
My name's Nick Kretschmer.
And what city are you from?
Ranger, Indiana.
Ranger, Indiana. And you've been racing Super Late Models for a couple of years. You started at mini stocks a few years ago, and quite a big jump from the mini stocks into the late models.
Yeah, we did 1 year in the sportsman division and decided we wanted to do this outlaw late model, so.
Awfully quick, probably about the quickest cars around here, than maybe the sprint car class, and boy, things can happen in a hurry on the track.
Oh yes, sir. It's very fast paced. You got to be on your heels the entire time.
Now you're pretty young. Actually, you're growing a beard now for once, but actually you've been going to school too, haven't you?
Yes, sir. I go to University of Northwestern Ohio in Lima, Ohio.
And that's at Uno, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Uno. They do a lot of stuff with racing over there.
Yes, sir.
Kenny Wallace sponsorship.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah, and Kenny Schrader.
And Schrader as well.
Yes, sir.
I grabbed those guys along there. So.
Yeah.
Now, how do you like to racing the super late models versus the mini stocks and the sportsmen?
Oh, it's a blast. I mean, no words can describe it how much fun it is.
You do have some mechanical problems, because even last week I said if Nick can finish the race, he'll be in the top 5, and I think 2 laps later you're pulling on to the infield. But when you do get onto the track and get some runs, you do get some pretty good runs.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we think we found it this weekend, and I think we'll be ready this weekend.
Now, you've been racing mini stocks. Anything before the mini stocks that you were doing?
Yes, sir. I started racing dirt bikes when I was 8 years old. When I was 12, we moved here to Indiana from Iowa and decided to race go-karts over at MRP over on Crumbstown Road. So I've been racing for around 12 years now.
Oh, you're not burned out yet?
No, sir.
Not yet. Well, that's good. Well, I know your dad's a big help. Actually, we got him. He's wearing a cowboy. No, he's wearing the safari hat there in the trailer. Well, maybe we can get him out here for a minute here. Okay, now you actually got him off the seat there. How about that? But he was a pit steward out here for a little while, and you're trying to race, so that made it a little tough when he was kind of like in the pits helping or talking to other guys, and then you're over by the car going, I need some help here.
Yes, it was. But we got through it, and better now.
How are you doing now?
Wonderful, Ron. Thanks.
Really good. And this is like a 2-man team pick. Chris was talking about when you were the pit steward here, how he was trying to get stuff done on the car, and maybe you got tailed away or something, and it kind of made it a little bit tough to get something figured out.
Well, he grew a lot from it. Now he has a better understanding how the race car's set up and is kind of running everything on his own. And just I'm the hand now, the helping hand.
And it's kind of neat. You guys went from the mini stocks, well, really from dirt bikes to the go-karts to the mini stock sportsman to the late model class. And this is kind of like, I won't say it's a dying class, but there's not as many of these late models around as there used to be.
No, and we're always looking for maybe another class, maybe go back to sportsman and see how that goes. Or, we're just having fun right now. He's in school, so we're just waiting for him to get out of college, and we'll go try something different then.
There you go. And you're going to be pretty much racing Stop Bend throughout the year?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Good, good. Any other shows you're looking at possibly, or... Maybe just
the
keeping
Clash
your
Call of the Wild. As long as we can keep the engine together this year.
Now, are you technically out of school yet, or you got another couple more weeks and then you'll be free about the 1st of June?
No, sir. I go to school year round.
Really? Now, when I did ITT, I went year round for 2 years, so it was kind of a bummer to come summer. I was like, wait a minute, we had school in June and July? I thought, oh no. But I got to stay in Fort Wayne, still went to a lot of races, so that worked out.
2 weeks off on August, and that's about it.
Really? Well, good. Now, your number 21, is there a reason behind the number 21 on the number?
Whenever we started mini stock, big fan of the Woods brothers, so that was our paint scheme for a while. And we decided just to stick with the 21 because it's a lucky number for us.
Always all the teams like the 21, honestly.
So we had to keep it.
Okay, well, we're glad you guys made it out here. It's good to see your face out here again, because I say you had some mechanical problems here and there, and I know that's not a lot of fun when you pull in the pits and you're watching the next 18 laps from the late model feature going, geez, I wish I was doing that. But we wish you luck for tonight. It's 70-lap race tonight, and it's $1,500 to win. We got some lap money we end up putting together too, so it's a pretty neat little bonus, and pretty neat to see the track kind of revitalized too.
Oh yeah, the track it's amazing. I told Kevin and Vern they did a great job doing it.
Yeah, when they started repaving some sections, and they redid some things, and they came out the next day, and I'm like, oh my God, they'll never have this done. They had so many holes in the track, and I'm like, this looks like a war zone out here. But they put it all together, even when it was 45 and rain out here. I was like, it's too wet and cold to paint, but the guys are out there working.
Yes, sir. I'm very appreciative of what they're doing here.
And you need to be ready for autograph night tonight too, so you're going to have to be ready for that. So have your dad get a clean pair of pants on, and you guys will be all ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And
Thanks,
Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're here at the historic Mountville Speedway. We have Karen Britta with us, and you have some duties here tonight, don't you?
Oh, I'm 50-50. That's my normal job. And actually, going years before, you were a trophy girl at different
Oh my
tracks.
gosh, I forgot about that. Yes. Oh yes, way back when I had long hair and it was all dark.
I guess it is a lot
It is
more
a lot.
gray now that you mentioned it. I didn't even notice that.
I'm sure you did.
But kind of a racing family. I mean, it seemed like a racing family. A lot of them in the area. There's a lot of you're related to this driver and past relationship to this driver. And
Yes, I was married to Jim Hands.
And he drove the 24th Street stock in South Bend.
Stock, yes, and I dated Doug Hanna years before that.
Okay.
So I go way back. But Charlie is like my son. I mean, I think of him as my son.
Charlie Hanna.
Charlie Hanna, yes.
And then you got some others that raced actually now too, youngsters.
Yes, I've got Bub 47. That's my favorite one. Next to Hunter.
There you go.
Who raced yesterday at Quarter Midgets.
And the son-in-law, 14.
And 14. He's not racing this year.
No, he's taking the year off.
He's taking the year off because Hunter's racing.
Trying to be the mechanic at this point.
It's a lot of work.
Bill paying and stuff there too.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Now, you've been helping out at South Bend Speedway, too, the last few years, doing the 50-50,
Yes.
working the pit gate. And what do you like about short track racing?
I like the excitement. I don't like the crashing, but I like the close competition. And I like the passing when they are, grouped, like 3 or 4 of them trying to get the lead.
And something we talked about just a little bit ago was the crowds. It's really neat to see places just packed, and South Bend was a really good crowd last night.
The front stretch was almost completely full. Back stretch was 3/4 full.
A lot of people comment it's like a demo crowd last night.
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed like it. And we had a lot of people just standing around. Plus, we had Sparky the Clown back last night. And he's been around forever. And he kept pretty busy. They were doing the
yes, he was
balloons for
making
kids.
balloons. Oh, yes.
So now, you got any favorite drivers over time? You've been around racing for the past 35, 40 years.
Oh my gosh, I got a lot of them. Charlie Hanna, Bubba Blackburn, of course Jim Hanna.
You better say all the right names, otherwise we're going to get in trouble here.
I like them all. I like the what is his name? The Rosses. I like them. I like. I can't even think of their names right now.
We won't get you in
I
trouble.
like them. I like them
trouble.
all. Yeah.
Just don't say John Dixon, because when Amber didn't say John Dixon, he caught it right away.
Oh, I love John Dixon.
He's very mad about it.
Okay, I love John Dixon.
So
okay.
he's refusing to talk to her now or something there. But did you actually race too a little bit?
No, I never.
No powder puff or anything?
No, I'm scared to death to get out there.
So you were just a trophy girl?
A trophy girl, yes. And Scott, my brother Scott, took me around this track one night in his minivan, and he got me up to the wall, and he was only going half throttle, and I'm screaming, "Slow down!"
He was on half throttle?
Yeah.
'Cause I heard he only races quarter throttle.
Well, maybe he got it up to half throttle.
He must have top speed of 40 miles an hour now.
I think so.
We can pick on him. He's not here yet. So he's got that cane. He was getting a little nasty with that last night.
Oh yeah, he likes that cane.
But God bless him. He's been around forever too, and
Yes.
did all the photos and.
I took photos too.
Oh really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. When he was a photographer, he sometimes he'd go to South Bend and I'd go to Plymouth, and I would be in the infield taking pictures when it was dirt.
Really?
In the infield,
Okay.
just the infield.
Wow.
And yeah, I had cars come at me one night, and I thought I was protecting the camera, but I was covered with bruises trying to protect the camera.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know. I had no clue about that. I always thought Scott took them, even the bad ones.
Well,
So-
yeah, I took a lot of them at Plymouth.
I'll be. So you're working at South Bend on Saturdays. You're here on Sundays, and then you
Yes.
kind of bounce around a little bit on Saturday mornings with Hunter up at Kalamazoo.
Well, sometimes because usually I have to be at South Bend by noon. So.
Yeah, so it makes it pretty tough to
Yeah.
travel up to Kalamazoo and all the way back to South Bend because you're talking about an 85-mile trip there.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half drive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any favorite racetracks around here?
South Bend.
South Bend.
I love the Terrace, but I don't get to go there.
Right, it's a different lap. You were there last year. We did that Doug Hanna night.
Oh
It
yeah.
worked out pretty good there, so that was a pretty neat.
That's
little
where I
deal
learned to
there.
drive.
Oh, you drive your car?
A stick shift. That's my stepfather. With Shorty Binkley. I don't know if anybody remembers him.
Oh, beyond my time here.
Yeah, well.
Before my time.
He took me out there with his race car and put me in it and showed me how to drive a stick shift.
I'll be. It's a good place to learn.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
You can only hit the wall, I
No
guess.
other cars. No other cars. They wouldn't let me drive with other cars.
Well, I'll be darned. Well, we're glad you made it out here, and our first time back in over a year and a half.
Well,
So
glad to have
we're
you
doing
here.
some more interviews, and we'll be looking for you later tonight.
Okay.
And at South Bend and coming to
I will be there.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Go.
There we go. God, we're one of the most famous people here in northern Indiana tonight. Tony Eldridge from formerly the New Paris Speedway. Now you're over at South Bend Motor Speedway. It's kind of like the program director over there. You're over here in Montville announcing and stuff. And you just seem like you just keep going and going.
I just love short track racing, and anything I can do to help, I love to do it. Went to Hartford Friday night for some good racing action, and worked Saturday and today, so just enjoy being out here.
Don't get a whole lot of time for the yard or anything else when you follow racing a lot, because it's like you're always on the go.
Yeah, that's right. You got to travel a lot, and there's so many people to see and talk to that you don't get a whole lot of time for yourself.
And a lot of times when you go to races, and when we go to out-of-state races, we have plan A, B, and C in case we get rained out at one track. You're always thinking of the next track to go to. And us for South Bend's real good because I'm 3 miles from the speedway,
right.
So that's plan B no matter what we do there. But last night, big car count and a really great late model race there. Amazing finish there and a big crowd too.
Yeah, we had right around 2,000 people in the grandstands, 101 cars in the pits, and the late model race was very good. Brian Ross pretty much had it bought and paid for, and then towards the end there, a little bit of action passing a lapped car, and Steve Stacy came out of nowhere from like third, fourth, up to the lead and picked up the win in the steal on his first night too. So definitely the crowd loved it. It was very exciting. All of our racing last night. The outside groove really came in. A lot of passing on the high side, which was great to see.
Yeah, finally last week it was so cold, and this week it was a bit warmer, so the track took a little more rubber, it was a little bit higher in temperature, and boy, just with all the different, you got asphalt, you got the new pavement put down, you got concrete put in places, and guys are like, what's this going to feel like? But it's so smooth. Everybody says it's so smooth, no matter what the surface is. Smoothness is so much better for racing.
Absolutely. We had a pretty big bump on opening night in the middle of the backstretch, and so the guy said we have to work on that. And Kevin and Vern spent all week grinding to get it smoothed out. And Brian Ross is kind of my go-to when I have questions about what I should do to the track. And he said he loved it last night. So for a veteran like Brian to
until
say,
the end of the race,
well, yeah, until the last 5 laps, for a guy like him to say he thought the surface was great and lots of
all his experience all over the country.
Yeah, and he was on the high side all night. So it definitely made us feel good that we made the right decisions.
A lot of things going on at South Bend over there, like the 70th year of operation. So it was a 70 lapper last night, and big sportsman race coming up next week there. And just neat what Vern and Kevin have done to the track. I mean, it's like when they got it, there were some things that need to be done, and the way that's went above and beyond just some different things that they've done to the track just to make it more fan-friendly and, just to get the word out, too, for the work that's racing. Instead of I didn't, it was open and all this and that. And we had some TV out there last night, 57. It looks like they were out there doing some taping.
Yep.
And this is the up and up. Now you're over here at Montville. You're doing the announcing over here.
Yes, sir.
And you actually raced here a couple times in the past. I picked on you because you got third place in a 3-car race, but we won't get into detail about that. Leave the mic on for that part there. So, but you're a nice guy though, anyways. You're taking good humor. But over here announcing on Sundays, and a little bit different. You announced up at New Paris and stuff, and then you got away from it for a little bit. Then you did a little dabbling at South Bend and that, but now you're full-time announcer again.
Yeah, announcing is my passion. I started flagging in 06 at Plymouth, 07 at New Paris, and got a chance on the microphone. I love to announce. I love hearing the crowd get excited, and so Merle and Judith asked me if I'd come here to Montville on Sundays, and I thought, I love this track. I actually was the track champion here in 04. Won 14 features in a row with more than 3 cars in a race. So
I'm going to look that up. I know that's not that far back on me because that's kind of current history. We're going to have to do some looking on that.
Yes,
We're going to have to Google Tony Eldridge, and we might find some other things there, but we'll do some looking there.
So Montville has always been my home, and I love it. It's such a unique place. The car counts, 30 cars a night, put on a very quick show, and it's just fun. Montville, you come here, somebody breaks, everybody helps them out, and it's a good time, It's just a relaxed atmosphere, not like the bigger tracks that are go, go, go. When I come here on Sundays, I just get to have fun, and so after my Saturday night and all my duties at South Bend, I come over here and just unwind a little bit and get ready to go back to the real world.
And when you raced years ago, the cost of a car was so expensive, and now you got your son into racing, and now the cost is just, for front-wheel drive, it's just like, holy smokes.
Yeah, I actually own 4 cars now. And Brandon Vines and my son race full-time for me, and it's just been problem after problem. The Harmons have the cars now, getting some motor swaps going, but even in the front-wheel drive, I mean, we've probably spent close to $5,000 in the last 2 years, and it's just the cost is going up, and that's what the Hornet class is about. It's my favorite class because it's a very bone-stock beginner's class. You can get an entry-level car for under $1,000 and go racing. And then if you want new tires and stuff, that's where your expenses come from. But
and one of the few tracks that class is running at.
Yeah. I mean, here, Montville and South Bend have the true Hornet class where it's bone stock. And I know both tracks work together and intend to keep it that way just to keep the cost down and get these younger kids. Aaron Flora here tonight, he's 13 years old. I'm racing. My son is 14, and that's what it's about. We're missing the younger kids coming up. The older guys are starting to, get out of the sports. Loose Jimmy talking about retiring. You know, these guys, Doug Hanna lately, those guys that paved the way for us are now moving out of the way. So if we don't get these young fans in, it's just we're not going to have a sport.
Yeah, just like NASCAR when they lost, you know, the Earnhardt Sr. and then Gordon's retiring there, and like I say, even the Ricky Rudds got out of it. Terry Labonte, it was a big fan following for those guys. And when they got out of it, it's like it dwindled a little bit. And like I say, with getting the kids involved and you know, with the kids zone, that was a big deal. And we did that last night with the Victory Lane. And some of the kids are just so happy to be down there, just getting their picture with the race driver. They're kind of like in awe of like, oh my God, I'm standing next to a race driver. I mean, when I was little and I did those old timer shows, and I always thought those guys were this tall. And now they talk to me just like we're talking now. And it's kind of neat. And those kids were the same way as I was because they're like, oh my God, look at this race driver I'm standing next to. And it's a race car. And they're like kind of froze. And they're like, just relax, you know. And they're like, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah, you know, Melissa and Dave Keys from Left Turn Graphics came up with that. They sponsor and provide all the trophies for us, and it's a neat deal. I handed out the cards for the first time last night. Each kid gets a card. If your driver wins, you go to Victory Lane. And even when I handed those cards out last night, the little kids were like, wait, if I win, I get a trophy? And I'm like, you get your very own trophy, all for you. And it was just awesome. And I have not yet seen the kids in Victory Lane, but I've heard from the parents emailing in that they just love it.
And we had some different ones standing there, what car number won. They just went down there no matter who won, and they're like, is this the right number or not?
Right.
So we got some stuff to iron over. We're going to move the lights a little bit over there. It's pretty bright in one spot. I did find a warm spot there where that was blowing off the generator there last week, so that worked out pretty good. But a lot of fun at South Bend, and a lot of fun here. And you've been bouncing around. You've been to, say, at Hartford. I know you're at Winston, and you're just like a race chaser. You don't see that a whole lot anymore.
No.
People that go to races, they kind of stick to one track, maybe a second track, but boy, someone to go, you know, more than 15, 20 tracks a year, it's like it's just an unknown. In the old days, that was a lot of people did that. I mean, race cars could do that, but not anymore. But it's just a neat experience where you can kind of, and you're in the management, so you can see things that tracks do. Hey, this is a good idea, and wow, that was a bomb, you know, that was a good, you know. So you're kind of seeing some things and kind of trying to implement it in South Bend, and Kevin and Vern have been real open about, you know, hey, let's try it.
Right.
And it's so funny because they've only been racing a couple of years. So when we talk about something 3 or 4 years ago, they're like, what? And when we talk about the Save race, they're like, did what? You know?
Right.
So it was just a neat little deal with them guys. But they've been so willing just to be over there. And I just hope they don't get overwhelmed because there's so much going on. And just, my God, Kevin's over there damn near every day now doing something that's like, oh my gosh, you know.
But you know, we talked to their wives last night. You know, you guys provided the roses for them, and their wives were just saying it's really neat to see them have a passion about something. Kevin does the roofing business, Vern does heating and cooling, and now they just have this passion that I've really not seen in an owner in a long time. They want to make it the best they can. They want to do everything, and they're racers at heart, so they want to do it not only for themselves, but for the sport. Like opening night, cold, rainy all day, I called Kevin and said, you know, I'm going to cancel. We're not going to have a crowd. You know, we're going to lose money. And he said, well, come to the office. So I met him at our office, and he said, you know, tonight is not about the fans. It's for the drivers, and we are going to race. And so I said, you know, I need more money. You didn't bring me enough money. I threw him my card keys. He went to the bank, brought me more money so I could make payoff, knowing that we were going to lose. And we ended up not, but just to prepare for it. So that just shows what kind of people they are. Not very many owners are going to say, okay, I'm going to this losing money tonight. Yep. And for them, it was all about the drivers and a thank you for everything the drivers have done to support them. So it just shows the class act people they are. You know, the cruises that we're doing, I know Plymouth does them as well, for all of our champions to go on a championship cruise was just awesome. Like when I heard about it, I thought, what a great deal. You get a week's vacation paid on the track for winning the championship. The cruise company is going to release some information soon about how anybody can do like a buy here, pay here, and pay off a cruise and go with. So even if fans want to go, to be very affordable. You can make weekly payments.
They might pay your way and then man overboard.
Right. Depends on who I make mad this year, right? So it's a lot of great things going on. Merle here, you know, tonight 500 to win for the mini stocks. They have big races for every one of their shows. J.R. Long has done a tremendous job trying to bring Montville back, and Merle has really changed. He's a lot different. He said at the banquet when he announced I was announcing for him this year, he and I used to go tooth and nail. I've actually been kicked out of here more times than I can count in my heyday, and you know, it's just neat to see him really want to make this like another track, like anybody else would be a player in the game. So it's a lot of fun.
And it's kind of surprised, like when Steve was selling the track for South Bend, and like maybe 4 demos this year, and then Kevin and Vernon jumped on board, and I even had to read the news twice because I'm like, the guys are like trying to race track. I thought, my God, they just got into racing. What I didn't do, but it's like so much of the crew's been left over from last year, and that's really helped out. You're still there, and say the Olivers in the infield, and like Ed McFadden up there at the gate and stuff, and so it just helps Scott and Karen even at the gate.
Right.
It's such an easy transition to what's actually going on.
Right, yeah, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it smooth. We didn't purchase the track until December, so we were way behind. For a racetrack, you start the day you close, getting ready for next year. So we had to play a lot of catch up, and they have just been so supportive of my ideas and others' ideas, and what we can do, and let me try anything I want. It's been a dream to promote and run a racetrack, and they're giving me that opportunity, and it's a blast. Like it's stressful. I know you put on shows, but at the end of the night, when drivers shake your hand and say, "Hey, great show," I'm like, "Thanks. I've worked for this all my life. It was a dream." And so it's pretty awesome to know that Kevin and Vern enjoy themselves. They're having fun. Their wives, their family. It's awesome.
And they're turning it over to you basically when they're getting in the car. They're not in the middle of decisions and trying to, hey, I think this guy here, he was a dirty driver last week. You gotta, they're like, hey, we take care of it, and we're just race drivers.
Yeah, our deal was that on Saturdays, they couldn't go anywhere that a normal driver couldn't go. So they don't come in the office, they don't talk to me, other than any other driver in the pits would come up, Vern might come up and ask, how's the car count? But that's a normal thing, and so it's pretty neat to see that Brandy and Lori Sauer just do an amazing job running the front half. They call on me very little every week. It's less and less, like we're doing so awesome up there. And so Kevin and Vern are just able to race and meet drivers and do their thing.
It's a lot of fun. We're glad you helped get that stuff and resurrected again. I didn't want to see another save race happen take place, and you never know what's going to happen in this economy. And then so many tracks have closed. Got some Supreme Court, up in north there, Merritt stuff, and even around this area with Brian, Ohio, a couple years ago in Ovilla, and you just hate to see tracks close, and you want to see them flourish. There's enough racers around. You just got to make them happy and want to come back.
And it takes people like you guys here that are here from Stock Car Stream and everything, you are on to do to really step up and make it to work. The videos, the news feeds, all the pictures, because that's what promotes the sport and gets the fans into it. So we thank you as well for everything you do, collecting lap money, going above and beyond. A lot of things we do as promoters and owners we couldn't do without people like